Hi everyone, my name is Kenneth Chu. Welcome to episode 37 of Mother Industrialist live show where we talk about entrepreneurship, parenting, and life. And in this episode, we are going to talk about how healthy cooking helps me find my purpose in life. And today, I'm really blessed to have this awesome lady that's coming on as a guest. And she's none other than this good friend of mine that I've known for 4 years. She's a mother of two beautiful children. She's an entrepreneur. She's a healthy cooking specialist. And without further ado, let us welcome Amy. Hi, Amy. Welcome.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hi. Thanks for making time. I know.
Everybody.
Yes. Thanks for making time. I know that you rushed back all the way to come back to be ready for this show. I know we are a bit late, but it doesn't matter as long we get you onto the show. But before we officially kickstart with the show, there's a tradition that every guest get to answer the question of the day posted by the previous guest. So are you ready before we officially kickstart with the show?
Yes, bring it on.
Okay, so the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what is that one thing that you would love to do but have not done it? So I repeat again, the question of the day posted by the previous guest is, what is that one thing that you wish that you would love to do but you have not done it? So spend some time to think about it while I go onto our Facebook Live to see if we are connected successfully and if there's anyone that's coming on live and if our audio are good to go. Okay, then I'll come back to you. Is that
Okay.
good? Okay, so let me just go into Facebook Live. Okay, I can hear you loud and clear, and I see people coming on live. Hi everyone, for those who are coming on live, thanks for making time. I know that you guys came in and watch it live and support either me or Amy, and thanks for coming in. And hi, I see Joyce coming in. Hi Joyce. Hi Amy. Joyce is in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Hi, Michael. I see you. For those who are coming in, drop the hi and let us know where you are tuning from, and if you know me or know Amy. So, Amy, are you ready with the answer to the question of the day posted by the previous guest? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, share it with us.
Pretty much a lot of things I have gone and done it, but this was something that it just occurred to me very recently,
Mm-mm.
and I gave it a thought, and I thought to myself, hey, you know what? Since I'm working on towards a line that has to do with cooking, one day I would like to have my own cookbook for
Wow,
mummies.
wow,
Yes,
that is so
taking
inspiring.
them from prenatal confinement, until early infant stage. Yeah,
Hmm. Wow, that,
yeah,
that that is one big thing that is going to do, like coming out with your cookbook. Like for me, it's also one big thing that I've already done, which
yeah,
is
like
to
you.
to,
Mm.
to release my book, and also to write my book, Mother Industrialist. So I'm so thankful for, and I'm also so happy to hear that you're going to be an author soon of a cookbook, and to help more mothers. And now we can officially kickstart the show. So Amy, maybe you can do a short introduction about yourself to share with the audience, especially for those who are new to you, who have not known about your background, what do you do. You do a short introduction about yourself and what were you doing before this business or way before you step into business, and where are you from and what's your background like? Maybe you can share with us.
Okay. I was just like very normal. I brought in a very normal family, close knitted family. My parents actually runs their own F&B business. So watching them day in and out, working on their business, a lot of hardship, and that was where I realized that is there always a better way out, in life? So as what all the parents will tell the children, go to school, get good grades, and then when you graduate, get a good job. Yeah, so I have been pretty much working all my life. In fact, I started working as early as when I was 18, and
Wow.
I went to LaSalle to pursue my fashion designing courses, and that's where I followed my passion. Yeah, I didn't take the normal path that most people take. So that was how I got involved in that industry, and eventually after working a good part of my life, it got very difficult, especially when I had kids. Yeah, so that was the point of time when I wanted to step out of employment because I want to call my own hours. I lost a little bit, you know, time with my kids, and I realized that if I don't do it any sooner, I will probably miss a good huge chunk of them growing up. So without any experience, without any network, with very limited resources, I actually started my own make to measure business. So I was catering to the needs of women, who wants to be unique, yeah, in terms of their dressing up. And I did really enjoy it because I had the flexibility, yeah, which is really important for me as a mom because my girls back then were like about 3 and 5. Yeah, so I would want to be there when they go to school, and I would want to be in the PTA and stuff like that. Yeah, but the truth is that being an entrepreneur, when you call your own hours, you basically have that responsibility as well, and a lot of challenges that was thrown to me, things that I never expected to happen, and but I'm the sort of person when life throws you lemon, just let make lemonade, lemon squash, lemon cake, or
That sounds
whatever.
very
Yeah, so I
familiar.
hang on to it with whatever strength I have, and they were the motivational that force behind me, because I knew that if I were to give up and go back to a job, I will forever be trapped and I will be unhappy. Yeah, a happy mom makes happy kids, I always
Mm.
believe. And they also see a big, huge difference when I call my own hours. They see more of me, and we are able to spend more time together. Yeah. So of course, like any businesses, when it goes into when it's operating for a while, here and there we are again being thrown lemons again. So there are challenges that it wasn't really within my control, to overcome, and therefore instead of going back to a job, I start to explore new avenues.
Mm.
So that was something that I had no idea that I would chance upon. It wasn't really in my plan at all, to venture into a world of cooking. Yeah, because I was being brought up in a family where my parents cook very well, so I never saw the need to outdo them.
Mm.
It's very difficult and very intimidating to be able to survive in a family when your parents are such good cooks. So I felt so small. Whatever I tried to do, it's never up to their standard. So, like all children, we will just say, okay, we take the easy way out. Why don't we just eat? Yeah. And we'll do the washing. Yeah. So growing up, back then, my impression of cooking was just that. Again, it was because when I had started to have kids, and I realized that, hey, I got to really learn some tricks and tips here, in order to put food on the table for the kids. Yeah, so I'm very thankful that what I'm working on, it's working very well for me, and slowly I realized that it also has an impact on other women, other mothers just like me. Yeah, so this is what I'm still doing at this moment of time, enjoying it, every minute of it.
Wow, wow. Thanks, Amy, for doing such a great introduction of yourself. And before we move further, I've seen a lot of people coming onto the Facebook Live to say hi to you. Maybe you can say hi to some of them. So Joyce is in, Jenny is in also, Jenny
Hi.
O, and
Oh my god.
Joycelyn Lu is in, Angela Sim, Ricky Tay, and Tawny Bay. Yeah, so they are all coming in, and some of them are sharing, and also even Millie Leong is watching.
Oh, Millie.
Our
Hi,
common friend.
Millie.
Hi, Millie. So in fact, Millie have
Hi.
been invited and onto the show too. So yeah. So Amy, thanks a lot for the introduction, and I'm really glad that a lot of your supporters, your friends are coming in to hear your story. I believe some of them may be hearing it for the first time or some of the parts. And so just as in fact, I've known you for coming 4 years, and in these 4 years, we have like followed each other. We kept in touch. We see how our individual business work, and I can see there's a lot of similarity between you and me. And that was how our first meeting. We There was a session, a talk, and we attended, and I met up with you, and I totally resonate with you because you pursue your passion, which is
Yeah.
fashion designing. In fact, I
Mm.
graduated from fashion designing too, major in
Yeah, yeah,
design.
exactly. That's how we click, right?
Yes, correct. So you inspire me a lot because it's pretty challenging for fashion designers to really survive in Singapore in a local context. And because we are such a small country, and to be able to have your own local brand and doing something that you love is pretty challenging because it's not the norm. And I believe that we face the same challenges from our parents. Our parents say, why are you being a fashion designer? Why do you study fashion designing? You should get a accounting job. You should get
Agree.
an engineer job or stuff like that, or even into banking and finance. Why are you studying fashion designing? But one
Yeah.
thing I should salute you is you pursue your passion, you go into the route. As for me, I did my first 4 years of my career doing designing. I was designing baby wear, but as I started, I got married and wanted to seek for more um, higher income. That's where I moved into sales. And for you, I really respect you in terms of going for something that you're passionate about. And now you are in the world of cooking. When I first knew you, I didn't know that you can cook.
Okay, cool, right?
Yeah, so when I started seeing your Facebook that you're posting pictures, photos of you cooking, having a lot of different dishes, it kind of kept me curious. Like, Amy know how to cook? So it's something that as we started to connect, and you wanted to invite me to your cooking class, which I'm very, very curious, until one day you invited me to your house to really have some food tasting, and I was blown away by how is it possible for you. And in the last event where I was invited for this baby bash, and I invited you, and you just sponsor like ice cream for them on the spot, and it was really inspiring, and it's really I would say empowering at the same time. And it garnered a lot of I would say curiosity. People are curious, and how can you make ice cream on the spot, and it's so easy and stuff like that. And from someone that I knew that do not know how to cook or not very good at cooking, and now really I would say the healthy cooking specialist. And something that I'm even more passionate is because you're solving what modern parents or modern couples are facing. You're solving this big problem is to eat healthy and at the expense of their at home, basically home cooked food and in a healthy way. So maybe can you share with us like um, what what do you mean by healthy cooking helps you find your purpose in your life? Because this is the topic of the day that we are going through. So maybe you can share with us how it helps you to find purpose in your life.
Um, I always believe that there are so many ways for us to make a living today. If I could be making a living doing something I love, something I'm passionate about. And even so, if it's something that I'm doing on a day to day basis, I think that would really be a marvelous way for me to make a living. Yeah, just through doing things that I would normally do. Yeah, and cooking is actually really, think about it, a very natural process that we have to we have to do it every day, right? I
mm,
mean, we eat 3 or even 5 meals a day, as far as I know. Yeah, and I am just doing something on a daily basis, but I I learned how to do it properly,
mm,
a more healthier way, which I feel it's really important to um, all of us, especially women with children. And as what Prime Minister has mentioned in last year's
mm,
National Day rally, we Singaporeans are really not eating as healthy as we should be.
mm,
And I was mulling over it and thinking, what are the obstacles that women these days are facing, and I believe that all of us have all these challenges. And I found something that works for my family, my lifestyle. And because of that, I am able to create a source of income for my family as well. And I also realized that I've impacted a lot of women through my sharing.
mm.
Yeah. So that's why I am very passionate about what I'm doing right now. And I'm still, I still continue, I would love to continue to share with many of the women out there, and especially those who are tuning in
Mm.
and not knowing what is it going to be like. You can always connect with me, and I'll be happy to share with you guys.
Mm,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And in fact, when Amy invited me for one of the cooking class, I brought my family down. I brought my
Oh yeah.
dad and my mom, even my daughter. So it was a very
Yeah.
good bonding. We had fun, and basically my daughter was the chef for that evening.
Yes,
She
yes,
cooked like
yeah.
what, how many dishes? That were four, like 4 or 5 dishes.
Five almost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
four main course and also one
A
dessert.
dessert.
And the dessert is
Yes.
something that me, my dad, my mom, we love
Yeah.
it, like the orni, the yam paste that we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And through that whole process, I would say that I also understand that gradually when I knew um, why you're so into healthy cooking, because it bonds people. It not just bonds family, it bonds friends, especially for mothers out there, especially for you as a mother, for you, because maybe from what I know, like you have like your parents are very good cooks, so you seems that okay, so they will be good. Then I shall not be too fancy about the cooking. Should
I should
do
not
minimum.
outdo them.
Correct. Should not outdo them. But I would say that because of them loving you as a children, like now we are parents. Like you have your two children, and for me I have a 9-year-old daughter. So we know that, like for me, I love cooking. I love cooking, but
Mm,
but it's always the preparation and always thinking
mm,
what to do, and there's always limitation in the kitchen setup. Yeah.
mm.
So
That's
for
true.
me, it's also time, and sometimes um like the passion does not how should I put it, as we have so little time, it's quite hard for us to keep on cooking every day. But
Mm,
from your business, I realized that your business makes cooking so much simple that even that day when you invited me down to your place, we were chatting and we were eating at the same time. It's so convenient, and
so
and
unheard
because of,
of.
sorry.
So unheard of, right?
Yes, yes,
Usually, the host will be in the kitchen, busy cooking, and the guests
correct,
are in the living room.
correct. And that was what I was experiencing when I was cooking for family or even cooking for friends who came to visit.
Mm,
I'm always in the
mm,
kitchen. After eating, I
mm.
have to do the washing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So for me, I enjoy the whole process, but if it could be done in a much simpler way, that I could spend time talking and catching up with my friends without worrying too much of the cooking, while the cooking can be done by itself, I guess that would be really, really awesome. And I see that then and a lot of us we wanted to eat healthy, but it's so convenient for us to go to the food court, food center, or the coffee shop below to really pack food. Or sometimes we even order fast food bags, which is
Yeah,
eventually on the long run is not really good.
yeah,
And health is really something very important to really to bond everyone. And cooking, I would say food is the key thing. And I'm just curious that what I know you that you started a few business, and why do you keep on building businesses or started looking for business rather than going back to get a job? Especially there's a lot of commitment as a mother, as a parent. Why do you come that means continue to find create new businesses?
Um, I think, well, if I were to go back to get a job, it's more likely, in terms of my character, would be some form of a retail or sales job, something with a bit more challenge. I am never a desk-bound person, you
Mm,
put me behind a desk, it drives me crazy. I tried doing that, and then I simply tell myself, my gosh, I just can't see myself strapped behind a desk all day, and not able to unleash that potential in me. And
mm,
I always felt that, hey, I have lots to give, I have lots to offer to
mm,
the world, and I just felt so small sometimes.
mm,
So I didn't really want to go back to a job, or simply is the real world out there is pretty intimidating. It has become very selfish, first of
mm,
all, because jobs is very scarce nowadays.
mm,
And I feel that a lot of people are very defensive. They are
mm,
always on defense mode, and because of that they will tend to put on a mask when they go to work. You don't really know who you're working with, the
mm,
real person behind the mask, and somebody being so straightforward. I'm a very open-minded, straightforward.
mm,
I do not like to hide my feelings, my emotions, and when I deal with people like that, it really drains me, because
mm,
I also felt that I have to put on a mask and go to work every day, and then
mm,
when I'm back from work, I come back home, I'm a different person, and sometimes I will not know who am I eventually, and then my children will also feel that, hey mom, how come you are, you have a split personality. So I do not know how to answer to my kids, because I didn't want to haunt them that, the real world out there is really very scary. You got to
mm.
go out and put on a mask when you go to work. You can't be yourself. So that is pretty stressful to me. That's why I thought, yeah. And of course, the most important thing is that for the time and the effort that I am going to devote to my job, and I'm also the sort of person, if you pay me $2,000, I will give you $6,000 worth of work.
Mm,
I just I will always over deliver. And that's not good for me lah. If I'm working for the same paycheck
mm,
every month,
yep.
yeah, it's beneficial to my boss, of course. So I always felt that, hey, I always felt that no, I'm shortchanging myself if
Mm,
I were to spend so much time, my limited time, yeah, working for that same paycheck. Yeah, I didn't want limitations. I want to have a room whereby I can grow and develop myself into a better person. And I hope that through the work that I do, I'm able to impact other people's lives as well. And that is why I find it is much more meaningful. Yeah. And, in these days, there are really a lot of ways for us to make a living. And you just have to have an open mind
mm.
of what's out there, and take out that courage and try it. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Amy, whatever you just shared, is what and I guess it's also the reason why I've invited you to come onto the show to share on that whole I would say whole piece of your own thoughts and the values and things that you feel and why are you moving into this step. And that there is a whole message that I want to share with the audience who are tuning in, who are listening. Thanks for tuning in because whatever Amy have just shared is really totally something that I would want to share with all of you is basically have that open mind because a lot of parents out there, a lot of mothers out there, you are worth a lot more because
Yes. Yes.
as a mother you have already established something that is so wonderful, so amazing by giving birth to a human being with a child and as growing very very fast and gradually they become young adults and adults soon and it's such an amazing task that all mothers or all women have and you are more than that And that's that. And Amy, you said something that's really really real. That a lot of um, working adults or even parents, they realize that they are another person at work, and when when they are back home, they have to be that nice daddy, that nice mommy, to really be a good role model for their children.
Yes.
But
Yes.
at the back of their head, they are thinking, hey, how can I be a good role model where I'm struggling, I'm 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 being so negative? How am I going to be a very good role model for my children? And that's where I
Exactly.
see a lot of parents that are struggling at their work because,
Unhappy.
correct, because they are not being themselves, they are not being authentic, and over
Mm.
time they feel that mentally they're depleting, emotionally they're depleting, and when they're back home they have to show their children, hey, daddy mommy are strong, whatever, but at work they are not. So that's where I see that a lot of parents are struggling, and they are not able to find the job that they want or they are passionate about, because
Mm.
there's a lot of challenges. But even you
Mm.
find the job that you love, but you will not, you will not have, maybe you will not have a good boss, or your colleagues are not
Yeah.
really nice. There's always things
Yeah.
that's not in your control. And
Mm.
that's where
Mm.
I also understand that for you it's pretty challenging, for you who believe in yourself that you are worth more, you can deliver more, you can make an impact to others. And I believe a lot of mothers out there can do that, because you as a mother, you have that maternal love to help another mother. Especially I always see this case, this scenario that as a mother was struggling with two children, one on a stroller, one on the carrier, and another mother
Like me.
will walk forward and really help their mother, whether you know that
Yes.
mother's mommy at all
Yes.
does not matter. Another mother will step in, and because they totally understand the challenges and struggles that another mother is
Mm.
facing.
Mm.
Nevertheless, that I see why you are so passionate about spreading this healthy cooking to a lot of mothers, because this is something that they can be in control, and food is something that, like in the past, I, I believe that yesterday I watched this, I would say a documentary. They talk about um, like the mother's cooking is what we
Mm.
grew up with. Like for me, I grew up, I miss
Mm.
my mom cooking now.
It's a
She's
memory.
correct. Correct. It's a memory,
Yeah.
and we always remember like the mother's cooking is the
Mm.
best, like home
Yes.
cooked food. Especially when we grew up, when we became parents ourselves, we realized that, hey, mommy, when are you cooking? I always miss my mom's soup.
Yeah.
That's always the case. But
Mm.
if you look at nowadays, what is that bonding for mothers to the
Mm.
children?
Mm.
Where is that
Yeah.
bonding? There's no food involved at all. And I believe that for you, for someone who has parents who are very good cook, you also want to be one, because you want to spread that love down. But because of
Yes.
the working environment, because of them working long hours, they don't even have time for themselves, don't even have time for their children. How to have time to cook for them? I believe that they will want healthy food for them, but healthy food outside in the public, in the market, is expensive. You have to spend more. But as parents, we know that financial is already stretched, especially in developed countries. So how about, can we save on healthy cooking? And it's possible now. And with your knowledge on healthy cooking, it makes possible. And I guess it's something that you shared, keeping an open mind. And we know that a lot of um, industry is being affected, and a lot of parents are finding it challenging for them to stay in
Mm.
the job that they want
Yes.
to, because of the income. And what is your take on that, especially in today's market, and today's, like, you look around at your friends who are in the job, what are the challenges they are facing?
Of course, number one is it's a routine. They do not have that flexibility, and I always felt that we should have that freedom, the freedom
Mm.
to do the things that we want. I mean, sometimes, I mean, a lot of times, especially on Mondays, when you look at the faces of people in the CBD area crossing the road, my gosh, the vibe is really bad, because you can almost tell from the expression that they do not look forward to work.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that why should we succumb to that kind of Monday? So
mm,
like today is a Monday for me. I woke up early, and because it's a school holiday now, I usually will wake up 5:30, and I allow myself, to laze around a little bit. But because of the excitement in me
mm,
that I want to go out and do what I'm supposed to do, I literally jumped out of bed and couldn't wait to start my day. Yeah. And I can tell that my kids actually can feel that sense of happiness that I have right now, very different from when I was working day in and out in a
mm,
job. Yeah. And through me, through what I'm really doing right now, I hope that I can also uh, um, inspire them,
mm,
to think out of the box, that all things are possible
mm,
when you find your purpose. Yeah, so my challenge right now is to get my children to find their purpose in life.
mm.
Yeah, so at that age it's very hard. There's so many things out there right now. I
Mm,
think they're very confused at this moment.
yep.
Yeah, let them just figure it out, but then of course we as parents, we got to figure it out first before
Yes.
we can actually educate the children.
All
Yeah.
right. And I like the part where you say that we have to figure out ourselves. That means we have sort
Yeah.
out our purpose first, find our own purpose before we can help our children to find theirs. And I always love to share this with my clients or with the mummies out there is like I believe most of us has taken a plane before or even take a flight before, and in the plane there's always a in-flight instruction, right, about the gas mask,
Yeah.
the oxygen mask. So when there's an
Yeah.
emergency, when the oxygen mask
I,
fall, who's the first person that you need to put on? It's the
the
parent.
adult.
The adult has to
Yes.
put on the oxygen mask
Yes.
first before
Yes.
they can attend to
Mm,
the child. But if you
yes.
look at today's day era, a lot of parents are not saving themselves first with the oxygen mask. They are saving their child first.
Mm,
And and it does not work in that way. Why? Because the child is still a child. The child is still growing up. So the parent has to save themselves first, to take care of themselves first, mentally, physically, emotionally,
yeah.
before they can
Emotionally. Yeah.
correct, before they
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
help their children. Because as adult you have the ability, but when you lose the ability, do you think that your children will have the ability to take care of you? Would you want your child to come back and take care of you? I believe all parents would not want to.
Yeah.
So the first thing first for most parents is what most of them are not doing, the I would say,
To themselves.
to
Mm.
themselves, is to take care of themselves, to care for themselves, to love themselves first, take care of all their needs before they take care of other people. And I see it a lot in a lot of mothers, that they are spending, like, imagine, after a whole day of work they only left with so much time for themselves, but they give all this time for their children, and they have no time for themselves. And what I see
Yeah.
over time, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years,
This dangerous.
is dangerous because they start to deplete
Build up.
emotionally, physically, mentally, and that's where everything just go
Break
crumple.
loose. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Agree.
that's where you see there's increase of mothers having prolonged postnatal depression or even
Mm.
depression, and all this
Mm.
depression will affect their children. So it,
Yes.
it
Yes.
just just hurts me when I hear things that when a parent go into depression, the children being affected. So that's why I wanted to do this show, to share with a lot of mothers out there, that's inspiring mom that are there to really step into entrepreneurship, to live life on their own terms, to make a difference in the world, to help other mothers to be able to live life on their own terms, to be able to create another source of income without worrying
Yeah.
about not spending more time with their children, and to have that
Mm-hmm.
ability to spend more time with their children. and and it's really really important. And I'm seeing you doing that. And you were saying that, like, on Monday, a lot of people who work in the CBD area, they are dragging themselves to work. And there was one time I was meeting a client on a Monday morning, and it was like on Shenton Way. there was this pedestrian crossing. I was looking that there's like maybe 10 to 20 people standing at waiting to cross. But when I look at the button, it was not even pressed. So I went there, like they were there for like 10 minutes and 15 minutes.
Zombies. They are
Zombie,
zombies.
correct. So they are either zombie or they're on their phone or whatever. So when I went there, I was like, why is why isn't the button pressed? And they were like, they look very good, very glamorous on the suit, on the pants, on the beautiful dresses, but none of them was pressing the button. Until when I went over there, I pressed on the button. When the green man littered, none of them was moving at all. And when I started moving, then they start, oh, okay, it's time to walk. So
Okay.
it's like
Nice.
it's like I do not know how to put it. Like I do not know whether anybody who's tuning in who are listening can resonate with that.
Yeah,
Correct? It's like
sure.
why we have to conform into such state that we became zombie. We are not ourselves. We are dragging ourselves to work. Because are we created like that? We are not. Every one of us are created uniquely. If you believe in yourself, with the belief in you, that you can make changes, you can impact people, like what Amy is doing now. Really, really inspired by how you are going, how you inspire people by through healthy cooking, because uh, health is wealth. If you do not have health,
Agree?
you will not have wealth. It's vice versa. So if you want to have wealth, you must have health first. And health comes
Yes.
from the things that we put into our mouth, the things that we eat. And it's very, very important. And not just for parents, for our children. I see a lot of parents feeding their children with good food, but the parents not eating good food. So why is that so?
Mm,
And in the end, the children is in great health, but the parents are not, and
yeah.
depleting, having this
Mm,
problem, problem, that illness. Why is that so? Because a lot of us forgot, especially after we became parents, we forgot about ourselves. Everything is on our
yeah.
children. But in fact, the first number one person is to take care of ourselves, to love ourselves first, and also to take care of ourselves.
Mm, yeah. Happy, happy, happy mom, happy kids, happy wife, happy life. That's what I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really, really, I really want to thank Amy for sharing all that part about everybody has the ability to impact everyone, especially as a mother. And I see you done that. I even heard one of your friend who doesn't know how to cook, as she's a wife and
Yeah.
doesn't know how to cook, and the husband was thinking, can you cook? Are you sure you can cook? And it kind when she started attending your classes, starting to learn to cook, and doing the business, the husband just, oh, okay. And to the wife herself, it raised her confidence. This is what a lot of wives, a lot of women, or a lot of mothers are not having, of the self-confidence, because a lot of the self-confidence start to drop when they become a mom. They started to think that, oh, I lost my figure, I'm just a mother, I'm losing my
Esteem.
complexion, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
not good looking, I'm old and haggard and stuff like that. All these confidence levels start to drop, but it's because that they've forgotten to take care of themselves. Where in the past, before the children, they start to doll themselves up. That's how they got their
Yeah.
husband. That's how their husband got attracted to them, because they are dolling themselves up. But why it stops after they have a child? So that's where I see that through cooking, through the confidence in be able to do something that they never thought that they can do, that it motivate them, it empower them.
Yeah.
And that's why I love what you are doing, because I'm a big fan of cooking. And you're able to empower women who can't cook, or anybody who can't cook, to be able to be a cooking specialist, especially for
Yeah.
you. And that really inspired me a lot. And my I have this thing that I always ask all my guests is, what is work life balance to you, especially as a mom?
Um. Of I I do believe that modern women these days, it's a far cry from where our parents started. Most of our moms, I think even maybe your mom, we are all pretty much thought that we should stay home, have children, watch the children grow up,
mm,
watch the children, have their own kids, and then help to look after our grandchildren. That was the path, lah. But then, sorry, I simply can't see myself being a stay-home mom. First of
mm,
all, I almost went into depression when I stay home for a year when I had my firstborn.
mm,
Not that I do not enjoy spending time with her, but it's just this inner voice in me that is always speaking to me that, you know, I love myself and I would like to do something for myself too.
mm,
I do not see myself devoting 100% of my life, my time, just to nurture a child, which is actually quite capable of growing up, even though I am watching or being there. I believe in quality and not
mm,
quantity
yep,
in a way. And also I feel that because when we are exposed to the outside world as we go out every day, with our work, the network, I'm able to absorb a lot of knowledge that I can impart to my children
mm,
as well. And I always believe that I would like my children to grow up to be street smart instead of book smart.
mm,
Yeah, and that's something that I hold very precious to myself because um it's a survival skill.
yep,
Yeah, that's not being taught in the schools. Yeah, and being able to interact with people through my work and the things that I do, I learn a lot of valuable things from people from all walks of life. And today I'm so grateful that, me that has hardly much education, I'm able to rub shoulders with entrepreneurs, with doctors, with lawyers, with businessmen, and they impart unselfishly a lot of knowledge that I couldn't even find it in the books. Their experiences equally inspire me as well, and that's therefore that's what I believe that women these days, you can have a balance if you know uh, what is your purpose. Yeah, and I don't believe that we are put into this earth, just to procreate and then have children and that's it. Yeah. So the children can be easily inspired as well through what we have been always doing. They are watching us all the time
mm,
actually. Yeah. So give them some room. The children ought to have some room. I always believe that they should figure out their purpose in life as well. And if
mm,
you are always watching them, telling them what to do, they lost their instinct to
mm,
explore.
yep,
Yeah. So for me, the balance is what you make of it, lah. Yeah. If you
mm.
think you're balanced, you're balanced. If you think you're out of balance, you're out of balance, lah.
Wow. So
Mm,
we really thank you for sharing on the balance because I also like the part where you talk about survival skill. To me, it's
yeah.
more like a life skill that we can impart to our children because if you talk about education, it's always out
Mm,
there.
yeah.
Education is something that we can get support from like enrichment center or tuition and stuff like that for our
Yeah.
children. But the
Mm,
one thing that we would not be able to pass down or
mm,
to really teach or really to really handle it down to them is the life skills because life skills they have to learn it through experience, they have to learn through overcoming it, and
mm,
like you would say, like academic wise a lot of kids are being we have very good education system that they will be able to know English, yeah, mother tongue, math, science, all these are already there. It's over the past 50 years we have already developed, especially in Singapore. But the one thing I would foresee in future, and that's where I say that mothers is going to be the next economy mover. Reason being
yes.
because the life skills of mompreneurs, like you, who's an entrepreneur, who's
Cooking.
also a mom, cooking, cooking definitely is a
Skill. It's a
legacy.
life skill.
It's a life skills, survival skills. Because if you how should I put it, it's like one of the skills that is really needed, and also to
Yeah.
bond family together, and not just family, also bond friends. Like when you invite me to your house and seeing you cook, and we can catch up at the same time, the bonding is there. And this is something that
Mm.
maybe most people are not able to do that, and you come in special. Imagine your children can do the same. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
say that this is something that I always share in whenever I have a talk or when I speak is imagine all of us, right? We are like what we call the 低头族, that means we are always on our mobile phone or head down. But what if your children is not like one of them? Is always facing up, always talking, or very sociable, able to present themselves very well, very sociable, be able to mix with
Yep.
people. Who will they
Yep.
become? They will become leaders. They will be leading those who are
Yep.
facing down all the zombies, and they'll be great leaders.
Mm.
Do you want your child to be like that, or do you want your child to be like a zombie? That is the future that I see that our children will be in. And that is also something that a lot of parents will face a lot of challenge when their children grew up. Because if their children are not being impart with the life skills, then it's going to be something that
Be
is
hard.
very challenging for them, for their
Yeah.
children or even their children's future. It's going to affect it very much because in in another 10 to 15 years time, there will be a lot of master degree holders, there will be a lot of PhD students out there, but there will not be as many jobs that will be out there to cater for all of them. So what will happen to those who are not not in that 10 to 20% that is being taken in jobs? The remaining 70 to 80%, what will happen to them? You're going to do another course, going to start another faculty? No. Even they do that, can they get a job? So it's going to be
It's
very
gonna be a
very
good job. Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So if a job is the only option for them, then it's going to be very challenging. But what if their parents are entrepreneur? They can create an environment for their children to be able to study at the best schools, or to have the best education or best support in terms of talent building, because the parents do not have to worry about the time, because they can spend time with their children to impart the life skills. Second thing, because as their business grow, the income will come, and that's where they do not have to worry about the money, and they can provide their very good environment for their children. So do you want to be that parent, or do you want to be the parent that could not provide them with all the things that they want, because in the job there's always a cap in the income,
Yep. Come.
and
Yep.
and you are always not in control of your own time? Do you want
Yep.
that? So that is the question that I post out to a lot of parents who are watching or listening to this episode. You really want this to really sink in and really reflect what I've just shared, because this is something that I foresee in future that our children is going to face if the parents do not act on it now, do not come in realization that this is the future that our children is going to face. They're going to face a lot of competition in terms of people, in terms of their peers having the same degree, having the same PhD as them. But in the end, there's only so many jobs that is created out there, and the jobs may not be something that they could be able to accommodate, because whatever they study may not be applicable for that new job that will be created in the future. So this is something for a lot of parents to think about. It's not about the present. The present is something that we have to tackle. But if as a parent we would need to think of how to craft a better future for our children's future. So
Agree. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So this is something that I want to share because of what Amy has shared. About the life skills, about the survival skills, and this is where it prompted me to share so much. And now I guess time has flies. I really enjoy talking to Amy as always. I believe we can talk for hours and hours. But
Yeah.
maybe Amy can share with us that how can the audience or the listeners get connected with you, especially for your business into healthy cooking.
Okay. Anybody can just check me out on my Facebook. Go to Chef in a Pot. You will be able to see roughly get an idea of what I'm working on at the moment. We do have a team of amazing women who are mothers, most of them. And because of this platform, it allows us to connect with each other and working on the same belief as well.
Mm,
So we are also going out there to share with as many listeners and audience as possible that today, because of technology, we women should leverage on it.
Mm.
Yeah, and this is what this whole cooking thing is all about. Yeah, just find us on Facebook. Yeah, Chef in a Pot.
Yes. So do connect with Amy in facebook.com/chef in a pot. I've included the link in the description.
Mm,
You can
mm,
look out for it so that you can get connected with Amy and really find out how you can be a healthy cooking specialist. And also,
yeah.
Amy had touched on something that I also shared in my book, Mother Industrialist. So this is my book, Mother Industrialist. So in my book,
Mm,
in the final chapter, I talk about the future, and I talk about I know that entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but everyone have a shot at it because of today's internet and technology, and it's possible for Amy to be able to pursue something that she's passionate about, and she's able to empower people because of technology. Her business is really into technology in the future of cooking. So for those who are in Singapore, locals, you can check out her Facebook. She will have her upcoming. I believe that you will have your cooking class being updated on
okay.
your
So
Facebook.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
for
yes.
those who are who want to go into healthy cooking or healthy eating, you can always always check out Amy's Heng Facebook page, which is Chef in a Pot, or you can look out for the link in the description. If not, you can always contact me, and I will connect you to Amy. So last but not least, as a tradition, Amy, every guest get to post the question of the day out to the guests and also to the audience. And I see a lot of people are still tuning in, are still on live watching us. So there's Edwin Teo, there's Fiona Ang, there's Sean, there's Sam
Ah,
Ang. Yeah, so a lot of people are still tuning in. I'm really, really thankful. And Amy, any words for them?
thank you, Kenneth, for inviting me to this show. I think this is also one of the things that I would really love to do. Actually, yeah, being interviewed live. Yeah, I really love technology. Really love what it can actually bring our lives together. Yeah.
Hmm.
So what you want me to
So,
um
what will be your
a
question
question?
of the day out to the audience? Because now we have quite a lot of people on live, so you can post this question. This question of the day will be out
Mm,
to the audience and to the next guest. So, are you ready with your
mm.
question of the day? It can be anything that is revolving around entrepreneurship, parenting, or life, or any burning question that you have for your business.
Okay. Probably I would like to ask the audience, what empowers you every day?
Hmm.
What is that motivational push that gets you out of bed every day?
Hmm.
Is it your job? Is it your hobby? Is it your kids? Is it your husband, your spouse?
Hmm.
I would love to know what actually empowers put people on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And if you're telling me it's food, you better come and check me out on my Facebook. Yeah, I would like
Okay.
to know that. There are some people who tell me, "I'll get out of bed for a good breakfast."
Okay, so can I get the question right first? So the
Yeah.
question of the day posted by you is, what empowers you every day?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
good? So
Yes. Is that?
what empowers you every day? Okay. So for those who are watching, for those who are listening, Amy's question of the day is, what empowers you every day? Okay, so do drop your answers in the comment section. Do share it with us. Amy and I will be very, very happy to see all these answers coming in. Thanks for tuning in. And last but not least, any last advice for those who are, especially for the mothers who are sitting on the fence thinking whether they should pursue their passion or they should step into entrepreneurship? Any last advice for them, Amy?
Okay. Fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Um, I always tell people, 不要自己吓自己. We think too much most of the time. We worry too much most of the time, and therefore we didn't take that leap of faith.
Hmm.
And I always strongly believe that the universe will provide. It's abundant, and it will provide. what you deserve, as long as you keep the faith, um, you are committed, and you are happy. Yeah, and you ask, you need to have a goal, I guess. You need to know your purpose, and then you need to have a goal, and you really need to work towards that. And along the way, always enjoy the journey. Yeah, because a lot of times I think the destination is not, what we want. We want to enjoy the journey. That's the
Mm.
most important part of entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks,
Yes.
thanks, Amy, for the last advice being shared to all the mothers who are sitting on the fence thinking whether she should step into entrepreneurship or even pursue their passion. And you share with us, which is fear and also like the goal that they should set for themselves. I'm really thankful for today's. Amy, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, because it's lagging. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thanks for coming on to the live today. And I just want to share with all of you that for those who are listening and tuning in that my book Mother Industrialist, you can see in the below there's, if you have not grabbed a copy of Mother Industrialist, you can grab a copy because there in this book I've shared um, I've featured and included 15 mompreneur stories like Amy's, really inspiring that you can read about it. You can be inspired by them. This book can be for the fathers, the mothers, or the parents, or the husband and wife, anybody who want to get inspired because the content inside is about perfecting the balance between parenting and business or work and life. And there's a lot of tips, and I included the three P's, which is passion, purpose, and profit. Where today's topic we talk about my purpose, how to find your purpose. So in my book, Mother Industrialist is included with together with all the 15 mompreneur stories that you can be inspired by. And if you have not grabbed a copy, you can look at the link below. Is bit.ly/mother industrialist link. So I thank Amy for coming on live today. Really
Thank
spend
you.
time, really rushing back home and coming onto Mother Industrialist live show. I really appreciate that for you
Thank
making
you.
time. Really inspired. I really hope that I could invite you for the future episode where you can share more or maybe demonstrate how's your healthy cooking like. And last
Yeah.
but not least, Kenneth here signing off with Amy. Thanks for watching Mother Industrialist live show, and I see you guys in the next episode. Thank you, everyone. See you.
Good
Bye bye.
night.
Bye,
Good
Amy.
night.
Bye, everyone who's coming on live. Bye.